All right, here we are back again on the Sort of Sports podcast. All right, so we're now on episode 45. So really getting close to episode 50. I don't know if I'll do anything special. I guess I'll decide then. But right now we're on one of my favorite podcasts I do every year. Obviously, I always do my NFL predictions, my MLB predictions, but I think my NBA playoff predictions is up there for one of my favorite podcasts of every year. I don't plan on doing movies, books, or really anything but NBA predictions today because I'm really excited. We can remember the classic 2021 episode when I predicted the Knicks, I think, to go to I have them in the conference finals. I remember I put the Knicks pretty freaking far that year, and they ended up getting swept by the Hawks, right? That's the Trae Young year, I think. So, yeah, I think I did have the Knicks in the conference finals. 'Cause I think I had them playing the Sixers, beating the Sixers too, and then I had the Bucks beating them and going on to the finals to win it. I think it was against. I think I can look back. I did not plan this segment where I go back and look at the really old. That would have been my first ever NBA predictions podcast because it actually worked out really nice that when I started doing the podcast was the first ever. I'd say 2020 was kind of a Hood Classic season, but it gets cut short. But 2021 is a Hood Classic season. 2022 is also, and 2023 I think has been the best season yet. I mean, I'd say 2021 personally I like better than 2022, but there's an argument you can definitely make that 2022 is a better season. But 2023, I think anyone would agree, has been the best season in the NBA out of the last three. But they've all been absolute Hood Classic seasons. All right, where is this? Is this episode 10? No, that's my MLB predictions. Would it be the one right after that? Wow. I did all NBA third team, second team, and first team then. Wow, I was really committed. Most improved, Julius Randle. Coach of the year, Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, man, I still did the awards, but okay. So that year I had, oh no, not this. I forgot about this. That's embarrassing. I don't want to bring this up. I took 76ers in 7 over the Clippers because I'm an idiot. And that was the year I was like, well, I really think the Bucks are going to win it, but I'm not going to put the Bucks just because, I think I'm just biased towards them because they're my boys. And I was an idiot because that was the year they won the finals. Maybe I shouldn't, maybe I need to worry about that. Maybe when I pick the Bucks to win the finals, it curses them. Like if I pick the Bucks, or if I pick the Cavs to win the finals this year, or take the Bucks to win the finals, it actually hurts them. Maybe I don't need to. You know what I mean? Well, I guess you'll see. I'm pretty sure anybody who watches this knows that I'm probably taking either the Bucks or the Cavs to win the finals. So maybe whichever one I don't take will end up winning. That would be really funny. It's like I took the Cavs and the Bucks win it, or I took the Bucks and the Cavs win it. Like it just, the universe is saying no matter what, Ryan can't be right. I mean, he can be happy, but he can't be right. If he can be right and unhappy, or he can be wrong and happy. He can't have both. So originally I was going to go through and do all my playoff predictions, and I actually had my play-in predictions too. I obviously took the Thunder to be the 8th seed. My boys love the Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, my dog, Jalen Williams. I'm really excited for Chet to be with them next year. Lou Dort, the team's awesome, but they lost, so that was really disappointing. But that was my original plan, was to do the plan. And then, right now the Nets are playing the Sixers, about to lose game 1, and I'm doing my predictions just now. I just really didn't have as much time as I thought I would have this last week. So that's why I'm recording this on a Saturday afternoon at 3:05 p.m. while the Cavs play tonight. I'm actually going to a friend of mine's house to watch the big Cavs-Knicks game. So these are truly last-minute NBA playoff predictions. I'm obviously going to be doing podcasts in between the playoffs. I'll probably do one. I bet I do at least one every round. So like after the first round's over, I'll be like, man, I can't believe I took X team to win. I don't want to name anyone because then I'm just concerned I'm going to curse myself. Like when I say, all right, here we go, I'm taking a risk. I don't want it to happen where I'm like, dang it, I took, the Kings and the Warriors won. It's really embarrassing. Well, that's not really that embarrassing of a pick. It's actually more, I think, of a hot take to take the Kings than it is the Warriors at this point. People are really, really thinking the Warriors are going to beat them. You'll figure out what I have to say about that here in a moment. But originally I was going to do my play-in predictions, but that would have been wrong because I don't think I got any of them perfect. I think I got both sides wrong. So it's probably better that I waited. And on top of that, I didn't have as much time last week as I thought I did. Like, I just didn't get around to doing the pod. So today's a good day, and I'm excited. Now, the thing is that does suck is that they did announce 2 of the NBA awards. Mike Brown winning Coach of the Year and Paulo Banchero winning Rookie of the Year. And I put in parentheses, I love Jalen, though, talking about my boy Jalen Williams. But I had those predicted anyway. I predicted Coach of the Year Mike Brown and Rookie of the Year Paulo. I thought Paulo was pretty much the unanimous decision. And all the votes were him except for one, which, I mean, I know the guy from the Salt Lake City Tribune, I think is what it was like, oh, Walker Kessler has the better advanced stats. I'm like, no, you're just voting for him because he's on the Jazz. Like, don't freaking lie to us. So that was annoying, but whatever. Then it's just weird that Walker Kessler got more first-place votes than Jalen Williams. Like, I don't think Jalen should have got a first-place vote, but I'm saying, like, I think Paulo should have been unanimous. I'm not saying Jalen should have got a vote, but I'm saying if you would have said, who's going to get a first-place vote, Walker Kessler or Jalen, I would have said Jalen. Coach of the Year, Mike Brown, that was completely obvious, so I'm not even going to act like it was a shot in the dark for me to pick him. They haven't announced Sixth Man of the Year, MVP, or Defensive Player of the Year, or Most Improved, and I have my predictions for all those. So I'm going to read my NBA awards, and then we'll flip over to my playoff predictions. Oh, I did want one thing. I'm not even going to put up an MLB logo. I'm not going to put it in the MLB logo, an MLB picture of Randy Arozarena or Wander Franco, and I'm not going to put it in the description because it's just a quick aside. But I freaking told you guys about the Rays. They're going to break the record for the most wins. If they win today, they break the record for the best start to a season ever. And everybody was dogging on them, and I took them to be good and believed in them. And if they can be good this year, I might take them to win the World Series because you guys know I low-key love the Rays. And I did take Kevin Cash to be Manager of the Year, and I'm looking like a freaking genius. So, you know, where are my flowers, right? I picked my dogs, the Rays. It was a bit of an off-color pick, and boom, it is hitting. So that was just me being proud. And then overall, for the pitch clock, I really don't mind it. I just get a little annoyed when they put it on the scoreboard. I don't like watching it tick down. I would appreciate if Bally Sports stops doing that. It's really gross. I don't know if Fox Sports does the same, like FS1, and I don't know if Standard Fox does it either, but I know Bally does it. And I'm like, that's gross. Get it off my screen. It's just weird to watch it tick down. It's distracting. I don't like it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about MLB. That's everything I had to say. All right, let's switch over to the NBA awards predictions. So, most improved, I do think, is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think Brunson. I don't think it's going to be Brunson. There was another candidate. I forget who I think it was Larry Markkinen. Is who it was. And I think he's a decent shot, but it's going to be Shai. Shai's steadily improved his whole career, and then I was just at a birthday party like an hour before this. I was talking to a good friend of mine who's a big NBA guy, and I said, "Here's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's career narrative. First year in the league. I'll do it." Every sentence is a different year. So it's like first year in the league, it's like, oh, that guy for the Clippers is pretty good. And the next year it's, oh, he pairs with Chris Paul pretty well. Then the next year it's, man, he puts some pretty good stats, but they're a bad team. Then the next year it's, man, he's putting up some really good stats, but they're still bad. And then this year it was, man, he's putting up his best stats and they're good. So, I mean, I guess 10 seed isn't the best, but I'm saying they were pretty good this year for what the Thunder have. And I'm thinking next year they're going to just flat out make the playoffs. I don't think a plan will be needed. And the Thunder are exciting. Like, I tweeted out the other day, I'm like, over under 2 rings for this team. I take the over. Like, that team is going to be really good with Shai and Lou and Chet, and then they might eventually make a move to get another star in there, or they could just keep who they have. Whatever they do, I honestly think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, we're going to be talking about him as one of the best players in the league within the next couple of years. So I do think it'll be most improved player will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I love that. That's my dog. I love Shai. Sixth man. Usually there's like a big candidate. There really isn't this year. So I just went with Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, sixth man for the Celtics. Celtics have a great record, second best in the East. He plays well. That was my best shot. Defensive player of the year. A lot of people think it's going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he is going to win. I honestly do. I honestly think Jaren Jackson Jr. will win. That is my official prediction. Personally, I want Brook Lopez. I really think Brook Lopez should win it. I think he kind of deserves it. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I really think, to me, what Brook Lopez does is really underrated. So, and I'm obviously biased towards him because I love the Bucks because of Giannis. But, you know, I'm saying personally, I want Brook Lopez to win. But my official prediction, if I had to bet on it, I would take Jaren Jackson Jr. All right, MVP. Here's a big one. I think each of these guys is completely deserving. I think each of these guys, you put them in an MVP race pretty much every other year in the last 15 years they probably win. Like, honestly, I know like LeBron's 2013 Heat campaign is crazy and Curry's 2016 is amazing, but I'm like, I think the seasons they are having statistically and narrative wise, each one of them has the three things you need as an MVP: good record, good narrative, great stats. Every single one of them has that. Jokic has the best advanced stats. Embiid has the best just look at me stats. Giannis is overall the strongest stats, like just on, you know what I mean? It's the nice balance. Giannis has the best record, but we're going to act like the Nuggets don't have a bad record at all, and neither do the Sixers. Narrative, they've all got something. Jokic going for like the third ever guy to win 3 straight MVPs. Giannis has been the best player in the league the last 3 years, so it's like, I'd say 2020 he was best player in the league too, so the last 4 years. And Kawhi is the best player in 2019, so it'd be 2020, 20, yeah, that's 4 years. Last 4 years, Jokic is saying, people don't give me as much, like, he's respected, but not as much as he should be. I mean, he's amazing. Jokic is probably the second best player in the league, honestly. So that's like his. And Embiid is I've been this close to MVP twice. And it's like, this should be my year. Third time's the charm for Embiid. I think each one of them could win it. I think every one of them should win it. But, truth of the matter is, it's going to be Joel Embiid. I just think it's going to be his year. I think leading the league in scoring back-to-back years, the Sixers look better than they were last year. Some people are taking them to like maybe even be in the finals. Personally, I'm not like that, but some people are saying that. It's just really weird because if this was like 2 years ago, I'd be so excited that Embiid was going to win MVP. But it's funny just how like my mind has shifted because like now he's my least favorite out of the 3 players for MVP, which is funny because I used to like own an Embiid shirt and everything. Like I was a pretty big Embiid guy, and I've just shifted to become such a big Jokic guy. Like I love Nikola Jokic, but and obviously Giannis is my favorite athlete ever. So I think Embiid's going to win it. His stats are off the charts. If you really want me to, I can read them to you. Let me type these in real quick. Embiid stats. I mean, each one of them is having a historically great season. He does have the strongest stats, though. Even though he has the weakest record, I don't really think that's going to hurt him at all. I think the narrative of, I've been this close twice really is going to hit this year. All right, he's got best stats of his career easily, 33.1 points per game. He's averaging 2 blocks, 1.7. Rebounds, 10.2, which is like not the highest of his career, but I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, well, his highest is 11. Oh, well, he had 1 year. 2019, for some reason, he averaged 13.6 rebounds. That's actually crazy. So, what was the other stat I wanted? Assists, he's got 4.2. Nothing like crazy on the assists, but it's just the scoring-wise, Embiid has just been the man. He has like, I don't know how many 50-point games. I should just look up how many 50-point Embiid games this year. Yeah, he had 3. That's pretty, that's really impressive. 3 times this year that you put over 50 points, like that's really just a big stat to have, and no one else has done that. If I said, I think he has the most. Let me check. I don't think anybody else has more. Who had the most 50-point games this season? Most 50-point games by a player this season. Because this year has been like the highest scoring, individual scoring. Guys been having big nights all the time. It just feels like every couple weeks there's a guy that just goes off. I think Embiid does lead the league in 50-point games because, yeah. All right, I'm looking at the list. I think not Jokic, sorry. Doncic has a chance. Yeah, Doncic had 4. There it is. I'm looking here on StatMuse. See, Embiid has 1, like we said, Embiid has 3. Giannis has 3 also. Okay. Giannis has 3 also. Luka has 4. So Luka led the league in 50-point games. Thing is, of Luka, Luka's stats are crazy this year. Like, Luka could definitely win MVP. It's just the fact that he's not gonna when the Mavericks are that bad. It's really a shame. I was just telling a friend of mine, here's Luka's stats for the year, in case you were wondering. 32 points per game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 60.9 true shooting. But it's like the Jimmy High Roller video showed. Luka generates over 50 points per game by himself through his assists and through his scoring. That is a third, if not more than a third, of the Mavericks' points every night that are coming from Luka. It's insane. And he leads the league in that. So, once the Mavericks start being good, or if Luka leaves and goes to the Magic or Nets, that's my quick hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but that's my quick take, is that the 2 teams I think would be perfect, like Luka would fit in perfectly, is the Magic. Him and Paulo would play off each other perfectly, and then Franz Wagner would be a perfect third option there. Like, that would be a perfect team for Luka. And the Nets would be perfect too. Like him with Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith defending, Nicholas Claxton defending, Seth Curry off the bench. Like, that team would be really talented with Luka. Those are my 2 teams that, if I could put Luka anywhere, I'd put him with the Nets and the Magic. Like, he doesn't really, I think he fits better with a Giannis-style team of just, I have a bunch of guys who fit well around me, instead of like here's a second all-star and a bunch of guys who are okay. Anymore, I do think that's kind of become the way to build teams, like the Bucks do it, where it's like, here's my all-star player, and then here's a bunch of guys that fit well with him. And like one of them's probably an all-star level talent like Chris Middleton. One of them's a borderline like Drew, and the rest of the guys are solid. Because, that's what the Nuggets do. It's like Jokic is incredible. And like Jamal Murray's like a all-star level guy, but no one's going to be like, oh, Jamal Murray. You know what I mean? And then the third guy that's like pretty, like not an all-star level, but like borderline, that's Aaron Gordon. And then a bunch of solid guys behind him. That's the way the Nuggets build. That's the way the Bucks build. I think it's kind of become the way to do it. Celtics are a bit different because Jaylen Brown is the best 2 option out of any of the ones I named. Like, he's better than Middleton and he's better than Jamal Murray. But it's still similar setup. So back to the whole original point. Joel Embiid is going to win MVP. Now, if you said personally, Ryan, who are you going to give it to? That's tough. It's really tough for me. I think I would go Jokic. Maybe? No. Would I go Giannis? Or would I just give it to Embiid? I think Embiid's going to win it. Personally, the only reason I think I would give it to Jokic is because he is averaging a triple-double. And on top of that, it's the best record the Nuggets have ever had. On top of that, if anyone deserves to win 3 straight MVPs, what he has done in these last 3 years has made him deserve it. And to me, it's like, even though I think if Jokic hadn't won it back-to-back years, I don't know if I'd give him to it this year. I don't know if this makes sense. This is my thought process. If they said, Ryan, you get to pick the MVP this year. My thought process is this. Jokic has improved every year he's been MVP. And being as it's their best record, and he's playing the best he has been, logically, he deserves to be MVP again. But this might be the best season of Giannis's career. So, if Jokic hadn't won 2 MVPs before this, I think I'd give it to Giannis. But the fact that Jokic has improved from when he already won MVP just makes me think, well, logically, if he gets better, he should be MVP again. So I would give it to Jokic in this state. But in a vacuum where nothing before matters, then I'd give it to Giannis. But obviously we don't live in a vacuum, so I guess my personal pick would be Jokic. But that does not mean saying Embiid doesn't deserve it. Embiid wholeheartedly deserves it, and it's going to be really exciting for him to have an MVP, especially because he's going to lose in the second round. So, he might – actually, no, he's not going to lose in the second round. I didn't predict that. That was really mean, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Joel Embiid. I used to be a big fan of yours. I read a book about the Sixers, and I was like, oh, man, I loved Embiid before, and I love him more. Now I grew out of your shirt, and I think I'm going to buy a Jokic shirt. So I'm not an Embiid hater. At least I try not to be. I don't think I am. Maybe I am. I don't know. Regardless, Embiid's winning MVP. Great job for him. All right, it's time to move into, well, do we want to do, I think we'll do my playoff predictions. Then we'll look at what I predicted at the beginning of the year, and then we'll wrap up. That'll be that. Okay, Western Conference was we're going to start with for the playoffs. All right, round 1. We got the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. Nuggets in 4 here. The Timberwolves looked pretty good in their last play-in game, but I don't really think there's anything here to intrigue me. Anthony Edwards has got to get better for me to really consider them a contender. I know early on in the season I predicted them to be pretty good this year, and they massively disappointed me. Nuggets, I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be guarding Jokic well. Maybe they'll put Jaden McDaniels on Jokic. I don't know. There's really no one on this team that I trust to guard Jokic. Maybe they figure out some system to do it, but I don't think you're going to be able to stop Jokic. Guard-wise, is like Mike Conley going to match up well on, like, is he going to guard Jamal Murray? Is that what they're going to do? I mean, I guess that would kind of work. But I'm not too intrigued by any of this. To me, I just think the Nuggets will sweep them. I think the Nuggets are the better team, and I don't really have a lot to say. All right, Grizzlies, Lakers. Just watching my boy Dom 2K, and he talked about how he think the Lakers could beat them. I really want to join him on that, which I know is wild, me wanting the Lakers to win. But that's because this Grizzlies team, I mean, they went from being one of the most popular one of the most popular teams in the league to being like probably the most hated, and having one of the most popular players in the league in Ja Morant, probably the most popular player, to being like one of the most disliked players in the league. Me included. I mean, like, the part of my heart that was committed to Ja has completely shifted over to my boy Shai Gilgeous. And the Grizzlies, hype has kind of turned into Thunder hype for me. I'm like, no, this is the fun young team. You guys screw off. So I would like the Lakers to upset them. I think it's possible. Like, I don't really think it's that far out of reach for the Lakers to get an upset here and the Lakers to move on. I mean, D'Angelo Russell could really get hot. LeBron obviously is LeBron. Anthony Davis is the best pairing with LeBron we've ever seen, but LeBron is not at the same level of what he used to be, obviously. Some of the injuries are catching up with him. I definitely see the argument for the Lakers. But to me, if the Lakers win this, it's going 6 or 7. No, it probably goes 6. If the Lakers win this, it's going 6. Whereas if the Grizzlies just take the first 2 games, I don't think. Well, I guess it would be 6. Never mind. It's probably taking 5 or 6. Like, I think the Grizzlies are going to take at least 2 games. But if the Grizzlies take the first 2, I don't think the Lakers can just straight up sweep them on the way back. Like, they can't just go win 4 straight games. So unless the Lakers like snag game 1, I don't really see a world where they end up beating the Grizzlies. So I'm going to take the Grizzlies in 5. It's disappointing, but I kind of have to. I can't really believe in the Lakers. I just don't see it. Love to see them upset the Grizzlies because I don't think the Lakers would be the team that I don't think the Lakers would beat the winner of Kings Warriors. I don't care which team beats it. I think they get beat by them. And it would be really fun if the Lakers face the Kings in the second round and the Kings beat them. I would love that. But Grizzlies in 5. All right, Kings Warriors. Obviously, there are a lot of people not believing in the light the beam and the Kings, and I get it. But personally, I am not one of those people. The Warriors are a really good team. They're the dynasty of the last, they are the team of the last decade. And I'm not saying 2010 as a decade. I'm saying of the last 10 years, they have been the team. 4 titles in the span of 7 years. But, and also, 5 finals appearances, right? The ones they're not appearing in are 2020 and 2021. Every other one, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, they had 5 straight, and then they get, wow, that's crazy. Okay. So, I'm just thinking about, I'm trying to make sure I'm confident in this. I think the Kings are going to beat them. I understand the obvious reservations. They have Steph Curry, they have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. That's the main core. Obviously, Jordan Poole hasn't been as strong as you'd hope, but, it's the same thing. This team won the finals last year. Even though they haven't played well this year, they've had a lot of injury issues. This team did win the finals, and they looked great. I mean, my boy Andrew Wiggins is the second best player on this team, and he was cooking, and I love Andrew Wiggins. It's the one reason I was okay with them winning the finals personally, because I was like, well, Andrew Wiggins is great. But I do think the Kings are going to beat them here. I think this Kings team is really hot. They got the fan base behind them. There's just great mojo here, and I think they can just work an upset. I think this Kings team is going to go on a bit of a run here in the playoffs just based off that good mojo. But I will admit, it reeks of 2021 Knicks, where the fan base is super behind them, and then, boom, they get upset. That's happened with the Knicks with Trae Young and the Hawks. That might happen here. But I'm going to take the Kings. I'm going to believe in lighting the beam. Kings in 6. I can't act like the Warriors aren't going to win a couple games here. All right, here comes probably the most interesting first-round matchup on either side, and that's Suns-Clippers. I think PG is out, which obviously changes this up. The Suns are undefeated with Kevin Durant. And I think I'm going to take the Suns. I'm not playing around. Like, I think Kawhi can stretch the series out to 7. But I'm going to take the Suns. They are the better team. This Suns team with KD looks like a legit, like probably the best team in the West. To me, it's Nuggets, Suns are the 2 best teams in the West. And they're going to face each other in the second round, which is wild. Like, to me, that's the Western Conference Finals, is the Nuggets-Suns matchup in the second round. So I'm going to take the Suns in 7. I do think Kawhi stretches this out. He has like one game where in the last 2 minutes, he just turns it on and wins them the game. And probably pushes it to 7. Maybe it's like a Game 6 thing, like they're down and Kawhi pushes it to a Game 7. And then it doesn't matter because the Suns win pretty handedly in Game 7. But I do think the Suns are really good with KD. And, I understand if you said you took them to win the finals, I get it. I mean, Kevin Durant fits in really well there. He plays great with them. It's a really weird thing legacy-wise, because if they were to win this year, I don't think anyone's like, oh, this was KD's ring, because like it feels like you took Booker and Paul's team and sort of Aiden's and threw KD in there, which is just weird. Like it wouldn't. I don't think Kevin Durant's legacy is already screwed. This isn't really going to help it too much, but it would be his most meaningful ring, I guess. But even then, it's really not. It's really not his ring. It's weird. But regardless, I am going to take the Suns to beat them. Suns in 7 over the Clippers. All right, round 2. We got Nuggets Suns. Like I said, this is the Western Conference Finals. I think the winner of this is going to the finals, even though it's a second round matchup. It doesn't really matter because I think either of these teams will beat the Grizzlies or Kings. This is tough for me. I think I probably should take the Suns. I think I should take the Suns to the finals and own up to it. But I was not high on the Suns when they went to the finals. A lot of people took them to beat the Bucks, and I didn't. And part of that is probably Giannis and Bucks bias. But part of that also is me legit. I just don't think the Suns are as good as people sometimes think they are. And I'm just trying to think about, before they got KD, no one was really excited by this team. Nobody, it felt like. So I think I'm going to take the Nuggets here, actually. I think Jokic is the best player in the Western Conference, second best player in the league. He's got a great team. Like, this is the best Nuggets team he's had. And I think he's thinking, I got to show everybody, because he doesn't, like I'm saying, I don't think he's going to win MVP. And so, he's not winning MVP. He's got to prove himself in the playoffs. He's been in the Western Conference Finals once. And that was in 2020. So, last 2 years, they haven't made it, and he's been winning MVPs. So, I think it's time for him, kind of like Giannis in 2021, where it's, I won my MVPs. Now it's time for me to prove that I can have some postseason success. Obviously, then Giannis won the finals that year. So, I think Jokic is feeling that, so he's really going to step it up this playoffs, and that's what's going to put them over the Suns. Nuggets in 6, and I also don't think Ayton can match up on Jokic very well. So Nuggets in 6 over the Suns. Probably should have made it 7, but I'm sticking with 6. All right, Grizzlies-Kings. This matchup is really intriguing. You got, a team that I really like that's like the underdog team against the team that really nobody seems to like. But this will be one hell of a matchup. I mean, Ja Morant and De'Aaron Fox are 2 exciting guards. Domantas Sabonis, I think being guarded by Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be tough for him. There's a lot that the Grizzlies can throw at the Kings to try to slow them down. But I like what the Kings can do to slow down Ja. I think we could see an interesting series from Rashawn Holmes. I think we could definitely see a scoring outburst from Malik Monk because, the Grizzlies are so focused on Fox and Sabonis that Monk is open. I think there's a lot of interesting heroes that could come out of this you didn't expect before. So I'm going to take the Kings in 7. I just think they got that good mojo. The Grizzlies have a lot of bad mojo. I like what the Grizzlies can throw at the Kings, but I also think I like what the Kings can throw at the Grizzlies. I think this would be a great series, and I'm going to take the Kings in 7. Now we're going to Western Conference Finals. like I said, the winner Nuggets Suns is going to the finals. They're going to beat the Kings in 6. No one on this Kings team is going to go well against Jokic. It's not going to happen. And I mean, Sabonis can do his best. Maybe they have a game where Jokic slows down a bit, but like I said, Jokic is locked in. You think he can average a triple double for the playoffs? That would be insane. That'd be really freaking cool if he could do that. But regardless, Nuggets in 6 over the Kings. I don't have a lot of reservations about this one. Switch over to the East. Bucks Heat. Third year in a row we got this. No, not third year in a row, sorry. Third time in 4 years we've got this matchup. Obviously, first time it was in 2020. Second round, Bucks get beat in a gentleman's sweep. And I cried, fun fact. I think I mentioned that before on the podcast. God, very upset by that. 2021, I don't think they face each other. And then 2022 was last year. They swept them. No, 2021 they swept them. 2022, the Heat go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, yeah, it's been 2 years since this happened. Like, they faced off against each other in the playoffs. It's people, I think it's going to be like a pseudo rivalry, but it's really not going to be because I think the Bucks will sweep them. I don't think the Heat offense is going to go up against this Bucks defense well at all. I also think Giannis is pretty locked in. I think he knows that the Bucks really could have won the finals last year. So now he's like, okay, well, we missed last year's opportunity because Chris Middleton's injury. This year, I'm locked in. Not that Giannis wasn't locked in last year. He was. But I'm saying he's extra hungry for this title. Bucks in 4. He's not playing around. Celtics Hawks. Unless Trae Young has like a 50-point night one night, I think the Celtics will sweep them. I'm not a big Celtics guy. I think everybody knows that. I'm not really high on this team. Not a huge Jason Tatum guy. But, excuse me, this Hawks team is not that good, and the Celtics are good. So, Celtics in 4. Sixers Nets. This is the Mikal Bridges Revenge Series. Good for Mikal Bridges. Big Philadelphia guy, like from Pennsylvania. I think he's from Philadelphia. Goes to Villanova, was drafted by the Sixers, and they traded him for Zaire Smith. If they didn't trade him, he would fit really well in with this team. Like, really well. This would be a really nice piece for them to have. But regardless, I think it'll be fun to see Mikal Bridges as the number 1 option for the Nets. I think that'll be an interesting thing to watch, but I don't think anybody on this Nets team is going to slow down Embiid. I think Embiid's going to dominate them. I think Sixers in 4. I don't really see anything from the Nets here. Like, I think when you're the Nets, you are perfectly built to take in a star player this offseason. Or if you need to wait another offseason to try to see if you can get Luka. But, like, the next star player available, you toss him in with this core of, like, Bridges, Dinwiddie, Claxton, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas. You have a dangerous team. And you could be, like, one of the top teams in the East if you got, like, a star-level guy. Like, if you got Bradley Beal on this team, you guys would really cook. So, that's what I think you do when you're the Nets. Cavs, Knicks. My boys. My absolute boys, the Cavs. I do think the Knicks are going to compete this series. Randall being injured makes them worse. Randall's good for them. People are getting excited about this like it's going to go 7. It is not. The Cavs are better than this team. The Cavs have Evan Mobley. I think Mobley's going to have a great series. Donovan Mitchell's been playing the best basketball of his career. This Cavs team is a legitimate finals contender. We are no longer a dark horse. The legit finals contenders are the Bucks, the Celtics, the Sixers, the Cavs in the East. And then for the West, it's the Nuggets, the Suns. Should I say Grizzlies? I'm not that high on the Grizzlies. Probably the Nuggets, Suns, Warriors are probably legit finals contenders in the West. If the Warriors got hot and they beat the Kings, then the Warriors could legit be a finals contender. Not saying the Lakers. Definitely not doing that. That's a wild take. So, yeah, Cavs over the Knicks in 6. I do think the Knicks are going to probably take the first game in New York. Maybe they steal another one. I could see the Cavs doing it in 5. I actually might take them in 5, but I'll be safe and take them in 6. Nah, screw it. I'm taking them in 5. I'm being overconfident in my Cavs. I'm taking the Cavs in 5. The Knicks will take 1 in New York, and that's all they'll win. Cavs in 5. Gentleman's sweep. I love you, Jalen Brunson. I love you, RJ Barrett. But, not my Cavs. Round 2, we have the Eastern Conference Finals because to me, the Cavs and the Bucks, I know they're my two favorites. So it's no wonder I'm going to say they're the two best teams in the East. But I honestly do believe that. I honestly think if the Cavs were to upset the Bucks here, the Cavs are going to the finals. Like I'm saying, and I will say that if it happens, I will record a podcast where I literally say, if the Cavs upset the Bucks here, they're going to the finals. They will beat the Sixers or Celtics. The Bucks are the best team in the league. If you can beat them, you're going to the finals. So, is this the series where Mobley shows us he's the Giannis stopper, or does that happen next year? That's what I'm trying to decide here. Is next year the year the Cavs go to the finals? Because if you look at the top teams in the East, the Bucks are going to be the same next year. The Celtics are probably going to get worse. The Sixers are probably going to get worse because I think Harden will have a worse season next year, and I don't think Maxi's going to take as much of a step up to make up for Harden's step back. The Nets, unless they go out and get a star guy, they're not going to be significantly better. The Knicks are going to be the same, maybe slightly better. The Cavs will be the one that improves the most between this year and next year. So that's why I think if the Cavs don't win the finals this year, they're probably going to win it next year. And that'll be the year we go, oh, Mobley's the guy that can slow down Giannis. He's the best guy at guarding Giannis. And that'll probably happen next year. Is there a chance it happens a year early? Yes. But I'm not going to bet on it. I'm going to take the Bucks. I had it originally in 6, but I'm pushing it to 7 because Cavs team is a hell of a team. So I'm pushing it to 7. Not Cavs in 7. Whoops. Bucks in 7. Pretty much confirms Bucks going to the finals because I don't think the Celtics or Sixers will beat this Bucks team. So Bucks in 7. I think this is the worst matchup for the Bucks. I think some people would argue that it's the Sixers, but I honestly think this Cavs team, with how much depth they have, and the fact that Drew Holiday you can't have Drew Holiday clone himself and guard Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Like you have to put him on one. Hurts the Bucks. You got to put Giannis on Embiid. Not Giannis on Embiid. You have to put Giannis on Mobley here, and Jared Allen is going to have to be guarded by Brook Lopez, so that helps you out a little bit when you're the Bucks. But, I mean, it's the dual guards of Garland and Mitchell that really hurts you. So, taking the Bucks in 7, though. All right, Celtics, Sixers. Taking the Sixers in 6. I don't like what Boston can do against the Sixers at all. I mean, I get Rob Williams is a talented guy, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop Embiid. I think Embiid's going to kind of dominate him. There's going to be nights the Sixers are going to lose, but I think Embiid will win the series for them, Sixers in 6. All right, Bucks, Sixers. This will be a really fun matchup, and it probably will go 7. Embiid and Giannis will be going back and forth every game. But I'm going to take the Bucks in 7. Bucks are the better team. I know I'm like, oh, well, obviously they're going to go to the finals, but okay, and I still took them in 7. I think the Sixers will really compete with the Bucks. Doesn't mean I think they're going to beat them. So just because I said 7 doesn't mean I think the Sixers will win. But I don't think the Sixers team is going to go out without a fight. I think Embiid knows this is the best team he's had to go to the finals. Barring a Kawhi Leonard another bounce on the rim, and then it goes out, and then the Sixers. I'm talking about like 2019, right? Kawhi misses that. Sixers win an OT. I think there's a decent chance the Sixers could have went to the finals that year. And they beat the Bucks then. I don't think Giannis was ready in 2019. That's a wild alternate universe. Because the Sixers would have beat the Warriors because the Warriors guys were all hurt. The Sixers would be 2019 NBA champions. That's actually crazy. That's so crazy. That changes like everything. It's so wild. But obviously that didn't happen. Kawhi drained that. Well, not drained it. He did not drain it. Kawhi made that, and it bounces in. That was a crazy shot. All right. So the Bucks are in the finals, and the Nuggets are in the finals. The 2023 NBA Finals. The two number 1 seeds. Not exactly a hot take here. Also, the 2 best players in the league, Giannis and Jokic. I think everybody here also knows I'm a big Jokic guy and a big Giannis guy. I literally talked about that earlier on the pod, so if you didn't know that, you clearly weren't listening. And it's okay if you don't want to listen. It's just really odd that you would have this on and then not pay attention. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a weird thing. I mean, maybe I have a really soothing voice, but I feel like I talk a little too fast to be soothing. So the Bucks versus the Nuggets. Here's the funny thing is I think the Nuggets can put up a good fight, but I don't think they could beat the Bucks. I think the Bucks are the best team in the league. Giannis is the best player in the league, and the Nuggets have the second best player in the league. So I think that kind of makes it done. Bucks in 6. I don't think it's going 7. I think the Nuggets can take 2 here. It might be 2-2, and then Bucks win the next 2 games. Finals MVP, obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo, getting his second ring in 3 years. It's pretty impressive. And we start talking about that legacy and how Giannis is, really that guy. And I think it would – everybody pretty much says that Giannis is the best player in the league right now, but after this it would really stamp that down, prove it. On top of that, the thing is with the Bucks is you got to think, how many is Giannis and this core going to get? Because they can probably be this same team till about the end of 2025. So it's like if the Cavs get a title next year, if I really believe that's going to happen, which I do, do the Bucks get another like 2025? Do they go on and off every year? Is that what goes on? So who knows? But also the Sixers game just ended. They beat the Nets, so it's building towards the sweep like I predicted. But yeah, I think the Bucks and the 6 over the Nuggets. This would be a really fun finals. Marketing wise, it's hilarious because it's Milwaukee and Denver. Not exactly your meccas of basketball. It's not like last year when you had Warriors Celtics. The NBA was like frothing at the mouth for the marketing there. But yeah, I'm gonna take. Yeah, I'm actually pretty confident in this. I think once Giannis gets into the final, this playoffs, I think Giannis is really going to be locked in, and so is Jokic, because Jokic's got to prove that he can have that postseason success, and he needs that second title. He knows he was close last year and could have had it with the team he did, but Chris Middleton getting injured really hurt him, so I think he's locked in for the finals this year. Bucks and 6. And, all right, yeah, I think that's it for the NBA playoffs predictions. It's my official finals. Bucks, Nuggets, Bucks and 6. Giannis MVP, and I'll be very excited once that happens. I would love that finals. 2 of my favorite players. All right, let's go back and let's look at my original original predictions. Here we go. Western Conference standings. I had the Warriors as the 1 seed. That's funny. Nuggets is a 2 seed. Pretty good. T-Wolves 3rd. Obviously not the case at all. Clippers 4. Was about right. Grizzlies 5. They did better than I thought. 6 Pelicans. Definitely too high. 7 Mavericks. That's just disappointing. 9 Kings. Wasn't a Kings believer. I skipped the 8 by accident. Sorry. Probably because it's embarrassing. 8 was the Suns. I actually don't hate this if KD doesn't go there. I get why I wasn't very high on them. Like everybody knows I'm kind of a Suns hater, so been pretty clear about that. 10 Lakers, not terrible. 11 Rockets, a little too high for them. Blazers 12, almost right. Thunder 13, didn't even believe in my own boys, but this was before they were my boys. 14 Jazz, 15 Spurs. Jazz did have that run in the beginning that made me question that. Eastern Conference standings, 15 Pacers. Sorry, I just want to toss that out there. I was like, it's way too low. I know it wasn't like the Pacers were amazing, but gosh. All right, 1 was my Cavs. Thought they'd be the 1 seed. They obviously weren't, but I was, a lot of people were like, oh, the Cavs will be pretty good this year. Not like a finals contender for a couple years. And I was like, no, they're going to be a finals contender immediately. And so I was right about that they would be a finals contender immediately with Donovan Mitchell. 2 was the Bucks. That's about right. 3 was the Heat. Believed way too much in the Heat. 4 was the Hawks. I thought DeJounte Murray would make a great duo there with Trae Young, so that's what was wrong there. 5 Sixers. Obviously did not anticipate this huge run by Embiid. 6 Celtics. Kind of a Celtics hater. Oh, I'm not surprised I did that. That's funny. 7 Nets. This was back when they had KD and Kyrie, and I was like, what is really going to go on here? 8 Hornets. Man, they're a real disappointment. Hopefully they get things together after the draft. 9 Pistons. I don't want to talk about this. We're not talking about this. I'm upset. They're not going to get Wembanyama, by the way. I feel like the draft lottery, just quick prediction. The Spurs are going to win the draft lottery. The San Antonio Spurs are going to get Victor Wembanyama. It just feels too perfect. So, the Pistons aren't going to get it. 10's the Bulls. That was perfect. I don't know why I got that perfect, but I did. 11 Raptors. Wait, yeah, wasn't the Bulls the 10 seed? I think I got that right. I'm going to check real quick. NBA. I think they were 10. Wait. It's loading. No, they were 9. It was one off. Dang it. Dang it. All right. Where were we? Oh, yeah, 11 Raptors. So I was off on that. Knicks, I had 12. I did not believe in the Knicks at all. I even like Jalen Brunson. I don't know why I was so down on them. It's really a bad take. 13 Magic. I really love what the Magic got going on. You guys know I love Paolo Banchero. If you didn't know that, I need to point out the fact that I really love Paolo Banchero, and I think this team's going to be real legit in the coming years. Like, they're actually building something really interesting out there. Out there. I live in Ohio. Orlando's not really out there. It's just down there. And then 14 Wizards. That's about right. Wizards suck. Okay. Here's where it gets fun. For my Western Conference Finals, I had Warriors, Nuggets, Warriors in 6. So I had the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. It's a good take. For my East Finals, I had Cavs, Bucks. Bucks in 7! Well, no wonder. Apparently my mindset has not changed. Bucks in 7 over the Cavs seems like a playoff thing that can happen. Coach of the Year, J.B. Bickerstaff. Definitely probably could have happened if they were the 1 seed, but, you know. The Mike Brown thing, I mean, he locked up Coach of the Year early. Most improved, Anthony Edwards. I obviously anticipated a big year from the Timberwolves, so I thought Edwards would show out. Defensive Player of the Year for Evan Mobley. Definitely got a little excited. Making Evan Mobley Defensive Player of the Year. Definitely not happening this year. Sixth Man of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon. I didn't even realize I did that. That's funny. It's really funny, honestly. So that's. I really hope he wins it now. So then it's like at least I got one right at the beginning of the year. Rookie of the Year, Jaden Ivey. Jaden had a good year, not Rookie of the Year level year. I should have just taken my boy Paulo. MVP, Steph Curry. I suck at picking MVP at the beginning of the year. Like, I suck every year at it. Because I remember last year I predicted Kevin Durant, and then 2 years ago, who did I take? We were just looking at this earlier. Two years ago, I took... Oh, that was back when I wrote my stuff on paper, so I can't even look. Yeah, I can't even find that. I have to watch the episode. I have to go back and look at it. But yeah, that was a while ago. But yeah, not my... I'm bad at picking the MVP at the beginning of the year. Like, I always try to think, I'm like, oh, well, the narrative could go this way, and da-da-da-da-da, and then it just ends up being Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. I don't know why I had to go so far off of it. I took Curry. I mean, it's not terrible, it's not good. So when I rank my top 50 players, we're not going to run through everything, but some fun ones is that I had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 31, which is one above Rudy Gobert, and one below Jared Allen. Jordan Poole was above him. Darius Garland was above him. Chris Middleton was above him. Anthony Edwards was above him. DeMar DeRozan was above him. Karl Anthony Towns was above him. Yeah, it's not a good look. My top 5 didn't age terribly, though. Giannis, Curry, Jokic, Doncic, Embiid, Durant is top 6. I don't know why I read 6 by accident. That's not terrible. I honestly, if you argued that to me right now, I could probably take that. I think now I would go Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Luka, Curry. Sorry, Curry, Durant, right? Do I still put Durant 6 or I to put Durant 5 and Curry 6? I don't know. It's hard with Curry because he's been injured and stuff. But okay, well, I guess if you learned anything, it's apparently my 6th Man of the Year prediction I didn't miss on. But every year I'm bad at picking MVP at the beginning of the year. I just get a little wild. I don't think about things, I guess, the way I should. Yeah, I can't believe it took KD that one year. That was not a good look. It was last year's MVP. I remember I took KD and he wasn't even close to being in the conversation. Oh, I remember I took 2 years ago. I took Luka. Yeah, I took Luka because everybody was taking Luka to win the 2021 MVP. It happens every year. Luka's always the beginning of the year is like one of the main people are looking at for MVP. I mean, he definitely could have won it this year, like stat-wise. It's just narrative and record-wise, he never gets it, which makes sense. You got to have it. Okay, so wrap up. That Bucks Cavs series is going to slap. That'll be awesome. That is like a pipe dream for me. I can't believe we're going to get it. If the Cavs upset the Bucks, I do think that means the Cavs are going to the finals, and that Cavs Nuggets finals would be crazy. I'd love that too. But I do think the Bucks are going to beat the Cavs, and I honestly do think the Bucks will win the finals. I think Jokic versus Giannis will be really fun. I think the playoff the TV numbers might be down for that. I'm not going to lie to you, but I will be there every game watching that because I will love that Nuggets finals. That Nuggets Bucks finals will be freaking awesome for me. So congrats to Joel Embiid. Like 95% sure you're going to win MVP. And all right. I think that's it. I'll probably record one not too far from now. Talk about a lot more topics than just the NBA. Like I mentioned before, I was right about them Rays. So go Devil Rays, and I'll go Bucks. I mean, there's a lot I could say about Giannis getting 2 finals, but I don't want to talk about it too much before it actually happens. But I do think it's going to happen. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.